Today we're going back to the most important event in ancient history, which is Jesus' death and resurrection. Wes Huff, one of the world's most popular and beloved Christians committed to Christ and his church, recently did a podcast with the world's most popular podcast, and he took a few minutes to explain why he believes Christ was a real historical figure who actually died on the cross and rose from the dead. Let's hear what he has to say.
What is your personal belief when it comes to the resurrection? What do you think happened? Do you have a belief, or do you just try to interpret the text and try to see what is the message?
Well, I think so. As a historian, I do think it is a historical question. You have a guy who objectively lived, he objectively died, and then individuals close to his inner circle claim that they see him not dead.
Right.
Again.
This is a highly unusual activity.
Highly unusual.
Right. So, but it's hard when you're dealing with illiterate populations, you're dealing with thousands of years of time, you're dealing with an oral tradition, and then you have us sitting here talking about it in 2024, trying to figure it at the end of 2024, trying to figure this out. Literally the end.
Yeah.
Last couple of days. It's very difficult for anybody who thinks of themselves as an intelligent person who's secular to even entertain the possibility that someone died and come back to life.
And I get that. But we've already talked about the fact that we don't think that the only thing that exists is matter and motion. We as in you and I, right? Like, we believe that there's something else going on in this world that's a little bit crazy.
There's something else.
And that to, I think, exclude that, I think excludes something that you're kind of putting blinders on for. And you do have, I mean, you're right in terms of all of these ancient conventions and the ways that things were spread around. But the Gospels are written in the lifetime of the eyewitnesses. And they're written in this period of time where you have groups of individuals who could have fact-checked those things. So
how do you fact-check someone coming back from the dead?
Well,
how many people saw his body, right?
Well, Paul says that 400 people saw him all at once.
400 people saw the crucifixion?
No, saw the resurrected Jesus. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 15, Paul says that Jesus appeared to the disciples, and then he appeared to 400 people all at once. I mean, if we read the Gospel of Luke and the Gospel of Luke and Acts, so same author wrote these both documents, he says that Jesus was walking around teaching them for 40 days after he was resurrected from the dead. And so these are written within a time period when you have people who would have seen Jesus' ministry, who were there, say, at something like the feeding of the 5,000, who could have been able to verify or debunk some of these things that are being said. And you go from a bunch of scared guys who, because Jesus wasn't the only messianic figure who arose and claimed to be the Messiah.
Right.
There were a number of individuals both prior to and after Jesus, but they die and the movement dies with them.
The testimony of witnesses and close friends in verifying the resurrection of Jesus is significant because it provides personal, direct accounts that strengthen the historical credibility of the event. In ancient times, when written records were limited and communication was often unreliable, first-hand accounts from individuals who had personal experiences with Jesus after his death would have been considered invaluable. The fact that multiple people, many of whom were close friends or followers of Jesus, claim to have seen him alive after his crucifixion is compelling evidence. These individuals had no reason to fabricate such a story, especially considering the persecution and danger they faced for proclaiming such a message. Their willingness to endure hardships and even death suggests they truly believed in the reality of what they experienced. Plus, the fact that these witnesses were not just casual observers, but intimate friends and disciples, adds a layer of emotional and relational depth to their accounts. Their relationships with Jesus meant that they knew him personally, and the profound change in their lives after encountering him resurrected speaks to the authenticity of their claims. If Jesus' resurrection was a mere fabrication or a collective delusion, it's unlikely that so many individuals with such close ties to him would have risked their lives to proclaim it. The emotional weight of their experiences, combined with the consistency and number of witnesses, bolsters the historical case for the resurrection. This suggests that these accounts were based on genuine, life-changing encounters with a person they believed to be resurrected. What are your thoughts on the resurrection of Jesus Christ? Leave a comment below, like this video, and don't forget to subscribe.